How's it going, everyone? My name's Clayton Houston. I'm here with TYPHOON Defense, and today I'm going to be showing you how to take apart, disassemble, and reassemble your TYPHOON F12 Sport shotgun. So, out of the box, this is exactly how you'll find your shotgun. The heat shield will be uninstalled, the chamber flag will be in, and the chamber flag is very important. Besides the fact that it's showing you it's unloaded, it's actually a tool for disassembly here. So if I were to remove the upper from the lower with the bolt closed, then I'm going to cause damage to the feed ramp. So the bolt is engaged with the feed ramp. If I try to pull the upper from the lower, it's going to cause damage. So I want to keep that chamber flag installed, and now I'm ready to take apart the upper from the lower. I've got a wood block here, which is a good tool to have at your workbench, and I'm going to go ahead and push these takedown pins out. It's a 12 gauge shotgun, so they're going to be pretty tight. It's not exactly like an AR, so you may need a punch to push out the pins. So just like that, without causing any damage to the feed ramp right here. Because of the chamber flag, I'm able to easily slide the upper and lower apart. So at this point, the next thing I'm going to want to do is take off the handguard here. So with the orange TYPHOON wrench here, I'm going to loosen up these screws at the base of the handguard. This is a secondary point to secure the handguard. Then we want to remove this low profile nut, snugging up to that bracket. The bracket is always meant to stay in the handguard. Never remove these 3 screws that hold the bracket in. If you do, you'll find that it's really challenging to get that bracket back in. That bracket can stay installed on the handguard. I can take the handguard on and off with it installed. I never need to remove it. So next you're going to want to take this wrench. This is a tube wrench that's provided. It's got teeth on one end and holes on the other. With the teeth side pointing down, you want to go over the barrel under the handguard and engage with the nut. You then want to take this wrench, which has 2 sides. One is for the barrel nut, one is for this tool. And clip the wrench on here, hook it in, and get that nut started. And you can hear the detent disengaging. I can go ahead and unscrew it. Till the nut is loose, and take that off, and as you can see, the handguard with the screws loosened slides right off. Next, I've got my gas block here, and that simply just slides off. There's a little O-ring pressure, but just go ahead and slide it off your barrel, and the gas piston then just comes right off. At this point, you're going to want to remove the charging handle. So you can go ahead and remove the chamber flag, and in the bolt you'll notice that there's a little hump above the charging handle. To remove the charging handle, I need to line that charging handle up with the bolt. So if I grab the gun right here and just kind of find that sweet spot and pull out the charging handle. Next, you're going to want to take the wrench. We were talking about the larger side being for the barrel nut. We're going to go ahead and remove the barrel nut now. So I can go ahead and I can get this loose. And then you're going to want to unthread the barrel nut here until it's no longer engaged. So then you can slide your barrel and your bolt out from the shotgun. Next, you're going to want to disengage your bolt from the barrel. I can do that by pressing down on the spring and on the carrier here. Go ahead and take the carrier, slide it off, slide the spring off, and slide the barrel nut off. So now my barrel's good to go for cleaning. At this point, what you're going to want to do is take your upper, go ahead and clean it out, clean your barrel out, but also don't miss these gas ports. That's important in the function of the gun. So make sure those are cleaned, and you can clean all the components here. You're going to want to re-oil everything before assembly. In a separate video, we'll go into further detail on the remover of the trigger and the safety mechanism and the hammer. But for the sake of this, at this point it's taken apart far enough that I can spray some cleaner in here and clean out my shotgun, depending on how dirty it is. We're now ready for reassembly. We've got everything cleaned, we're oiled back up, and we're gonna go ahead and put it all back together. So, first things first, you're gonna take your barrel and you're gonna take your barrel nut. Barrel nut slides right on over. We then want to slide our spring on. So I'm going to slide it on backwards here just to show you that this is the incorrect way to do it. The spring is not seating all the way against the barrel nut. That side is too small. You want the spring to go this way so that the spring seats up against the barrel nut. So at this point here, we can go ahead and slide our carrier on. Hold it back. We can go ahead and get our bolt seated. So bolt is now in. We're ready to go. We're ready to insert it back into the upper. Slides right in. Hand tighten the barrel nut until you can't anymore. Large side of the wrench is the barrel nut wrench. Gonna go ahead and insert it into the groove here. And you're gonna really want to crank down and tighten that really snug. At this point, we can go ahead and reinsert our charging handle. Again, we've got to line up the bolt window with the hump on the top of the charging handle. So pretty easy once you get it a few times and your charging handle is inserted and ready to go. Next, you want to slide on your piston, and then it's time to slide on the gas block. You've got two arrows and two indications on your gas block. One is for light loads with the arrow pointing down, and the other is for heavy loads here. You want to set the arrow pointing towards the receiver, towards yourself, and that's what the gas block is going to be set on. So we'll go ahead and set it on light loads. Point the arrow down, arrow's pointing towards the receiver, it is set on light loads. We can then take our handguard, and you're going to want to feed the barrel through the bracket inside. Now, with adding a little pressure here, I can make sure it's snugged up. I can go ahead and I can tighten it, snug down these screws at the base of the handguard. Snug them up there. Now at this point, you have two options. We've got option one is reinstall the low profile nut, and this is good if you don't like the heat shield or want to use one of our compensators. You're gonna need this low profile nut. The other option is our heat shield, and this comes in the box with every F12 Sport. For if you want to go, it's either one or the other. You can't use both. They have the same purpose. So we'll go ahead and reinstall this one first just to show you how to do it. Slide that back over the barrel. Take my wrench, teeth down. We can hear that D10 engaging. Then I can take my tool here and with the smaller side of the wrench, use that to really crank down this nut. I'm going to go ahead and remove it now to demonstrate how to install the heat shield. So if you're going to use the heat shield, this nut needs to go. You'll set it to the side and save it if you need to. With this heat shield installed, our intended look is to not have the extended choke installed. You can if you want to, but that is not our intended look. You then want to slide the heat shield with the threaded side down. You can see that there's threads on one side and it's smooth on the other. So with the threads going on, you want to slide it over the barrel under the handguard. And really snug it down and your gun is good to go. So at this point, I want to reinstall the chamber flag. This is because I'm going to be putting the upper onto the lower and I don't want to damage the feed ramp. So go ahead and put that back in. Push the detent pins back in and we are ready to go. Now we're going to take a look at a few more levels of customization available for each F12 that comes standard in every box. The first is, you'll notice that every F12 comes standard with an ambidextrous safety. And on the left side, we've got the longer safety switch. And on the right side, to avoid digging into your finger, we have the shorter safety. Now, if you wanted to switch this up, you're a lefty, or this safety switch was just digging into your finger, causing irritation, then this little piece is what you're going to want to use. So you're going to want to take your TYPHOON wrench here and simply unscrew this switch, set it to the side with the safety lining up the same way. Go ahead and put the screw in and tighten it down. There, you're done, and you're not going to have that safety digging into you if that was causing an issue. The next thing we've got here is on the handguard. So we have the low profile nut on, and to avoid, if I've got the compensator on, I know I'm going to be out, I'm competing, I'm running the gun hard, and I do not want that nut to loosen up for any reason. We have this Allen wrench and these two set screws that are in the box. There's a threaded hole on the top of the handguard, and they fit these set screws. We have two set screws. This is to really avoid this nut loosening up. So go ahead and thread one in. Snug it down, and then at this point I can stack a second one on top of it. We do two because that makes it impossible for this screw to loosen up. Snug it down, and then I'm good to go. I can shoot all day, but before I'm able to remove my handguard, I just have to remember to take these both back out. So between our set screw for added handguard security, our single-sided safety selector, the F12 really comes with a lot of customizational options standard in every box.